Wow. Okay. Okay. Hey. Hi, Adler. Hi, Blazin. Happy New Year, guys. And Happy New Year to everyone else watching their live stream right now. So, you're probably wondering, Adler, why is there some weird yellow thing on your stream taking up all the streaminess? Well, I'll tell you why. Adler and Blazin are doing an awesome thing. They're currently raising charity for a foundation called Give Kids the World. So if you're not familiar with Give Kids the World, what they do is they actually work directly hand in hand with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. What the Make-A-Wish Foundation does is they grant wishes to seriously ill children so that they can do any sorts of things like go to Disneyland or, drive in a NASCAR race car, for example, or pretty much whatever the kid, wants to wish, the Make-A-Wish Foundation will do everything they can to help grant it. So where I come into this is when my second oldest sister was about 3 or 4 years old, she suffered from a disease called biliary atresia, which is complete liver failure. It's a failure that's severe enough that essentially the only way to survive is you need a liver transplant. And for a 3-year-old to undergo a liver transplant at that young of an age, it's not only an incredibly risky thing, but the likelihood of survival is incredibly slim. My father actually donated part of his liver to her so that she would have a matching liver and would have a fighting chance. And thankfully, she did pull through. Even after the transplant was successful, even afterwards, she was constantly in and out of the hospital, over and over again to get blood work done, to get checkups, to you know basically make sure that everything was okay. So her entire childhood was spent, going from home to school to the hospital. She was constantly having to take medication. It's not an easy thing for a kid to go through growing up. What made it even worse is about 9 or 10 years after her liver transplant, her liver started failing again, and she needed another operation. She needed another transplant. Thankfully, a donor was found, and she was able to get her second liver, and so far it's been many years since then, and she's been doing fantastic since then. But you know before she's even a teenager, she had to undergo 2 liver transplants, and essentially lived half her life in a hospital. The Make-A-Wish Foundation actually reached out to us, and they granted her a wish. Her wish was for all of us to go to Disney World because when you're given a wish, what 12-year-old doesn't want to go to Disney World, right? I mean, it's Disney World. So after they granted her the wish to go to Disney World, we took a plane down to Florida. We got a little, my family got a little rental car, and we actually stayed at this place called Give Kids the World. Now, normally when you go to Disney World, for travel, you stay at like some sort of hotel or resort or things like that. But because it was through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, they used Give Kids the World. Now, keep in mind, this was about 17 or 18 years ago, so I don't exactly remember everything that happened. But I do definitely have some very vivid memories of that time when I was 10 years old, staying at Give Kids the World for, going to our trip for Disney World. And Adler actually asked me to share my experiences, so here I am. Yay! So we arrive at Give Kids the World. You go on the little main gate thing, and my parents go in, they check in and all that, and they tell us where to go. And unlike when you go to Disney World, you usually stay at like a hotel or a resort. You get your little room key and you swipe it, you go in. What's actually really awesome about this place is where you're staying is you're actually staying in like a whole house. Everyone that stayed there, you kind of like they had like a whole neighborhood, like a whole private neighborhood thing. So you actually, everyone stayed at basically their own house, like a little condo kind of thing. So after my parents check in, we drive around, we pull up to the house that we're told to, which actually was right near the front gate too, so that was actually really convenient. But you pull up to the house that they're lending to you, and they actually have like a little placard that has your family name right on the little front there, right out front, so you know exactly where to go. The house was pretty nice. I remember it had like a really nice little jacuzzi spa tub kind of thing, which is pretty awesome. My parents stayed in one bedroom. My sisters stayed in the other bedroom. I slept on the pull-out couch in the living room. The best way I can describe Give Kids the World is it's almost like a miniature amusement park centered around kids. But unlike an amusement park where you go for the day, you have fun, then you go home, you're actually staying there at the amusement park. As a 10-year-old, that just blows your mind because you're essentially living for a week in a place where there's little mini There's a merry-go-round. There's an all-you-can-eat ice cream buffet at Give Kids. Like, if there's no other reason to support this charity, they have an all-you-can-eat ice cream buffet for kids that opens at like 9 in the morning. You can go there. You can literally. They encourage kids. As long as their parents say it's okay, of course. But they encourage kids that are staying with them to have ice cream for breakfast. Like, as an adult, you could just do that now, anyways, and it's like, yay, whoop-de-doo, I can have ice cream and pay bills and be responsible. But no, as like a 10-year-old, not only are you going to Disney, but here are like adults telling you to have ice cream for breakfast. Like, how amazing is that? And so I did. And I'm sorry, Adler, I had sprinkles on my ice cream. I think I had just about every topping that they could put on it, too. Oh, and I should mention that everything there is like already paid for. Like, if you're staying at Give Kids the World, like, you could have ice cream 1 time a day or 100 times a day. It doesn't cost you a dime. It's like all of that is being covered by Give Kids the World and by Make-A-Wish, and it's absolutely fantastic. So in addition to the all-you-can-eat ice cream buffet, which is great, they also had a bunch of other things that you could do there. They had a merry-go-round with like this giant mushroom on the top of it. Like, it was like this, like the building looked like a mushroom with the merry-go-round going around it. That was pretty awesome. They had like this little train thing you could ride around. It went around like the entirety of the village. And you could actually go up to the front of it and like ring the bell and pretend to drive the train. I mean, the person driving the train was driving the train, but you could like sit up there with them and pretend to drive it, or you could be all the way in the caboose and just like do whatever. You could ride a train as a 10. You're 10 years old and you're riding a train, like a little mini train. Like, it doesn't need explanation. It's awesome. Let's see. I remember they had like this like room with like these remote controlled RC boats. Like, there's like this little pond outside. Not really a pond. It was more like a small swimming pool kind of size thing with a bunch of like little RC boats in it. And you can go inside and use like a little steering wheel. Each one would like control a different boat. So you could sail, drive. You can RC control your little boat around the pool and crash it into your little sister's boat and make her cry because she cut you online and you wanted to make her upset. Oh, they had like this little this little mini adventure room thing, which is pretty awesome. I remember it had like the magic mirror on the wall, and you'd look into it and you'd say, magic, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And like it, like just like at Disney World where it had all those interactive interactions, interactive attractions. That's the word. Just like how Disney World has all those interactive attractions, this place has them too, though designed a bit more specifically for very young kids. So they had like this, the magic mirror on the wall. You look into it, you'd say your name, and it would put like a little magical crown that would highlight above your head, or like a tiara or whatever. One of those things that blows your mind because when you're looking at it, you're 10 years old, and it looks like just a mirror. And then you step up to it, you look into it, and then just like this holographic, awesome, crown just appears on your head on the mirror. And you're like, yeah, I'm a king now, woo! I remember they also had like this little jester kind of like animatronic puppet. I don't exactly know what it was, but I do remember him specifically. He was sitting like up kind of like on a shelf sort of thing. It was definitely like an interactive thing. Like, there's someone behind it controlling it, because you could like have actual conversations with the puppet. He would talk back to you. And he would like wave his little stick gesture thing that he had, and he would crack jokes. It was as a 10-year-old, it was awesome and funny because it's a little puppet that's come to life right in front of you. It's almost like watching Sesame Street but in person. Oh, and when I was out there too, they actually had actual Disney costumers come out to Give Kids the World to meet with all the children. I remember they had Cinderella come out. I saw Chip and Dale, Minnie. It was Donald. It was Goofy. And as a kid, you can go up to them, you can hug them, and all that. It's like it's literally the Disney characters coming to Give Kids the World, specifically so the kids that are there get a chance to meet some of their favorite Disney characters, and that was just totally awesome. Give Kids the World actually has their own character called Mayor Clayton. He's a big old adorable bunny rabbit who's the mayor of the village of Give Kids the World. So you'll see him walking around, waving at kids, hugging kids, taking pictures. Or he actually does a pretty awesome thing where he'll go around, in the evening and literally tuck kids into bed. I think the parents do have to request it because he never came to our house, but it was definitely a thing that I remember that they did was having Mayor Clayton go around on his little golf cart special little car thing that he had, and he would go from house to house tucking in kids. When you're 5, 6, 7 years old, that's just an awesome thing for to happen, I guess, when you're really young like that, to have a character come in, tuck you into bed, and it's just like a magical experience. It's literally part of the Disney magical experience for young kids, and that's just the extra steps that this place goes to make sure that these the kids that go there are having a magical, wonderful time. I remember they also had, I don't know if it was like an official Nickelodeon thing, something very, very similar where at this like little pavilion next to this, I actually remember they had like a little water fountain thing that like shot up out of the ground, and I got squirted in the face. It was great. But I remember at this like this little pavilion thing, they had some sort of like Nickelodeon skit performance thing going on at Give Kids the World. And at the end of it, they had a bunch of kids come up, and you could either get slimed or get pied in the face and all that, and they would choose kids to go up there. And my sister actually got chosen to go up there, and she said that she wanted to pie me in the face. So they called me up. They had me put like on a little bib thing or whatever, and they gave her a little pie tray. They filled it with like a ton of whipped cream and all that. And they counted down like 3, 2, 1, just pie filling all over my face. Another thing they did, they actually lent a video camera for my family to use. So we actually recorded, and this was back in the day where like a video camera recorded onto like an actual VHS tape. This was the year it was like 99 or year 2000. So like the video camera we had it recorded to an actual like full size VHS tape. But they lent it to us, and we were able to take it with us to around the Disney parks, and record our whole family experience, both at Give Kids the World and going to Universal Studios, going to the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, all these places. It didn't cost my family anything. They were just they were like, hey, you guys want to record your awesome adventure? And we were like, yeah. Oh, and one thing that they surprised us with, so just like at a hotel where you have housekeeping, they'll come through, clean the room, make your bed and all that. They do that too. They clean up the house and all that. Especially with kids staying there, it needs it's gonna need constant cleaning. We were out at the Disney parks enjoying our day, and when we came back that evening, we actually found that they left presents for my sisters and myself. For my sisters, they left, I believe, like they got like stuffed animals. I think it was. But for me, they know that I guess somehow they knew I liked cars, maybe by chance. But they left me a little NASCAR die-cast, maybe like 1/16th scale car, just as a present. So they when they were coming through, just cleaning the house, tidying the beds, they just left that for us, and that was absolutely amazing. Because my parents weren't expecting it, we weren't expecting it. We just having an awesome day at Disney World, and then coming home to get to receive a surprise present. It's like Disney World mixed with Christmas. As a 10-year-old, you can't get any better than that. Sure, you could have just stayed at any Disney resort or hotel, but no, this place actually went out of their way to make sure that all these kids had an amazing, fantastic, magical time, and and they're doing it all for free. It's they're doing it for charity to help these kids in need. You go to Disney parks and you come home, and that magic of Disney comes with you. It's from virtually every moment that you're on vacation there. You're either at Disney World or you're at Give Kids the World, but the magic of Disney just doesn't stop. It's between seeing the Disney characters wandering around, hugging kids and taking pictures, and it's one of those things where as a 10-year-old, you don't necessarily appreciate it at that young of an age, but looking back on it, seeing how much effort these guys put into giving my family an absolutely unforgettable experience, it just goes to show, to me at least, how dedicated they are to making sure that the kids that, come through their doors have the best possible time that they can while they're there. I mean, here I am, 18 years later, still remembering still having vivid memories of certain parts of it where, I can't tell you any hotels I've stayed at that left those kind of lasting impressions. This place, it's something beyond just a place to stay at when you're going to Disney World. it's in itself its own experience. So yeah, that's pretty much the extent I have with Give Kids the World. It's, nothing short of a fantastic place that has nothing but the best in mind for, for all the kids that come through their doors. And it's for what they did for my family, for my sister, them alongside with the Make a Wish Foundation. It's I you know we, I can't thank them enough for the experience that they gave us, for everything. Between the trip itself to Disney World and where we stayed at Give Kids the World, it's just everything was awesome. And when you have to worry about, am I going to have a big sister for Christmas or for New Year's, or so. If anyone at Give Kids the World happens to see this, sincerely, thank you for everything that you did for me and for my family. So please consider donating to help them, because they change the lives of families that are in the same situations that mine was, where you don't know if you're it's a miracle that my sister survived, but that could have, where mine survived, others don't. And to give these kids this kind of experience before, something horrible can happen, that we always say that life is short and you need to make the best of it, but the sad truth is, for some kids, it's even shorter. And you know, not everyone gets to make it. And these people, they want to give these kids the best experience they can. They want to, even for just a week, even for, even for just the short time that they're there, they want to make these kids forget about what got them there in the first place. They want to make sure that these kids have an unforgettable time. Because the truth is, not all of them make it. And my sister got lucky, she did, but a lot of them don't. And this is, it's something that you can, something that can help just, make what little time they have left just an absolutely amazing experience. Because no kid deserves to go through what these kids go through. And Adler always says, help someone smile today, but this place, they help dozens of kids smile every single day. And kids that are in, kids that have every reason to not smile. These guys, they go out of their way to make sure that they do. So thank you for listening to me, and please consider donating to help these kids, because you have no idea how much that these donations help change the lives of these kids. And as someone who has directly experienced it, sincerely, from me, thank you, Give Kids the World, and thank you, everyone that helps make it possible. So, help someone smile today.